Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, today's video, guys, is going to be a continuation of the video that I put out to you either yesterday or day before yesterday. I can't keep track of my days, where I suggested that the rest of the world and much of Europe sees the UK as quite the soft touch at the moment, someone who can be taken advantage of. And the story I'm going to share with you in just a second pretty much cements my concerns in stone. What it's basically about is the Prime Minister or the President, whatever the hell they have over there, of the Caribbean islands, has demanded that we pay £200 billion, yeah, billion with a B, for reparations for the slave trade. We're going over this old rope yet again. I mean, the goal of these people never ever ceases to amaze me. It reads here in the Mail on Sunday, King Charles and Sir Keir Starmer are set to face demands for the UK to pay an astonishing £200 billion in compensation for its role in the slave trade when they attend a Commonwealth summit later this month. A group of 15 Caribbean governments have unanimously agreed to put slavery reparations on the table at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa on October 21st. It comes after the Prime Minister of Barbados told the United Nations that reparations for slavery and colonialism should be part of a new global reset. Or should it now? Mia Motley, who is leading the demands for the West Indies nations, met with the King in London earlier this month for talks in advance of the 56-nation Commonwealth gathering. Miss Motley praised Charles for declaring 2 years that slavery is a conversation whose time has come, although Buckingham Palace declined to reveal the contents of this latest private discussion. The calls come in the wake of the Prime Minister's controversial decision to hand over the Chagos Island, however the hell you pronounce it, to Mauritius earlier this month, a move which has led to fears for the future of British control over strategic territories, including the Falkland Islands and Gibraltar. Much what I said in my last video. Check this bit out, this is fucking hilarious. Foreign Secretary David Lamy, good God, who is descended from enslaved people. Is he really now? Really? How many blacks in this world are descended from enslaved people? Quite a number, I should imagine. Has described how his ancestors heard the twisted lies of imperialism as they were stolen from their homes in shackles and turned into slaves. Stolen from their homes by who? Their own countrymen, perhaps? Anyway, guys, these people are nothing more than taking out a spoilt child for the day. They go to the playground, they go to a fun house maybe, jump in some balls, go down some slides, you take them to the cinema, you take them out for tea, you get them a toy, and there's always that one thing more that they want on the way home, maybe a packet of Haribos or something, and when you say no, you've had enough, they stamp and scream, throw a tantrum and start making demands and refuse to go to bed, much like the conversation of the slave trade, wouldn't you say? Now, it also comes to my attention that this £200 million, I would say if it gets paid, but it's more like when it gets paid, especially when you look who's dealing with this. I mean, David Lamy, I mean, fuck me sideways. That man is a walking disaster area. Do you really think it's going to be shared around among the black people in the Caribbean, or do you think it's going to go directly in the pockets of the people who are making the demands, the bent government officials, the bent prime ministers and home secretaries or whatever the hell they've got over there? I'm not too sure. It's not going to be shared around. It's going to be pocketed. It's going to be a nice little payday, which we are only going to oblige to pay, because obviously we have King Charles as the monarch, who's a woke World Economic Forum stooge, and much like Keir Starmer and David Lamy, and got two brain cells to rub together. I'd also like to point out what the UK has actually done and how much the slavery actually cost us as a country. It started off the decline of the British Empire. After all, the amount of money that we pumped in to abolish slavery has only just recently been paid back. We took to the high seas, we hunted down the slave traders, we destroyed them, we killed them, we freed all the slaves, we paid off the land barons and the slave owners, millions upon millions of pounds, and we're talking back in the 1800s here. That's why it cost so much, which equated to millions of pounds now, which is why it's only just been paid back. Isn't that enough reparation? We have had a debt for hundreds of years. It's only just been paid back. No, 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 no. It's a scam. It's a con. Once we start giving money out to the Caribbean, this 200 billion, more and more and more are going to start pouring out of the woodwork, shaking a little beggar's cup, saying, what about us? Can we have some too? And before we know it, we are fucking bankrupt. I mean, we're close to that now. Our economy is on the floor. We are putting out millions of pounds per day to cater for illegal immigrants. The welfare system is bloated to fuck because people don't want to work, etc., etc. We don't have 200 billion to start frittering away to scammers. It's nothing more than getting a call from an Indian call centre who's trying to sell you some antivirus software for 200 quid. And Keir Starmer gets out the country's credit card, forgets the 200 quid and makes it 200 million instead. I'd also like to point out, guys, can you see these people making demands of reparations from African continents or the Middle East, for example, who were heavily in the slave trade and are still using slaves to this very day? No, they point out the UK because they know we're a soft touch. They know we are weak at the moment. Well, like I said in my last video, we have been for many, many years now. No, they are not going to go to the Middle East because they'll get a big F off. They're not going to go to African countries because, yeah, that'll be counterintuitive to the agenda they're trying to put out here and want to get paid for. I mean, the Middle East with their slaves, they used to castrate their slaves so they couldn't breed. Did they do that over in the UK? No, did we, balls? Yes, slavery was abhorrent. Yes, it happened. Yes, it's in history. The Holocaust happened. The Second World War happened. The Vikings invaded our country. The Romans invaded our country. Do you see us shaking a little tin cup towards Italy? No, do we, balls? What I say, it'll never happen. Like, what I say to Keir Starmer and to David Lamy, tell them to fuck off. Go and whistle in the wind. You are not getting a single penny out of this country. We have bent enough knees. We have made enough reparations. We have said sorry enough times. It's time to put it to bed. It happened hundreds of years ago. It should never have happened, just like many historic events in this fucking world. But it did happen. Shut up and get the fuck over it already. That's my video, guys. Please do let me know what you think in comments. And I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.